We are back with another one, chat. Yes, sir. Welcome to another edition. What the hell is happening in sports? With my guy, with your host, the one and only NERO, and with my guy, Mr. Bay State Media himself, my guy Amari. What up, bro? What up?
Tough loss.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah, tough
Real tough
loss.
loss by the Sox tonight, chat. Yeah, it was.
Honestly,
It was tough. Yeah, we the Sox were on the verge of getting no hit tonight.
yeah.
Never a good sign, chat. Never a good sign, especially when it's at Fenway Park against a team that you've dominated the whole year. Every time you played them, and they went out there, almost no hit you and beat you by a few runs. Yeah, the offense could not get it going tonight, chat. It was basically non-existent. No cap.
hmm
No cap. But yeah, chat. So, yep, obviously like we said, the Sox lost. We'll get into how that played out. I'm gonna share the screen now for y'all um, to give you a glimpse. But like I said, they lost by a few runs, and what that means, the Yankees won. They took it 4-1 tonight. Luis Hill, he took the win. He's now 4-1 with a 2.83 ERA. Lucas Giolito, who pitched well tonight, but obviously the offense didn't get it going. He's now 10-4 on the year with a 3.31 ERA. And then deadline acquisition, David Bednar, who they did get from the Pirates. He picked up his 23rd save on the year, and he currently has a 2.43 ERA. He's been one of the bright spots out of the bullpen for the Yankees. Yeah, chat. We'll get into the stats. Obviously, since the Sox lost, we'll start with them first. And honestly, there ain't really much to go by with these stats. Only 2 hits on the night. Alex Bregman had a hit, and Nate Eaton had the only run of the game, which was a home run. He hit his first career home run for the Red Sox tonight. They did strike out 10 times as a whole. So there's there's the bats for you right there. Only 2 hits and they struck out 10 times. So that's never going to win you any games. No bullshit. Giolito, he went 5 2/3. He gave up 5 hits. He did walk a guy, struck out 6. Um, he did give up a home run to Aaron Judge in the first inning. That home run puts Aaron Judge atop the list for Yankees home run hitters. Another one did come in the I believe it was the in the third inning, but it was an unearned run because Carlos Narvaez had a catcher's interference. So obviously, Giolito only gave up 1 run. Didn't pitch all that bad for the most part. He actually pitched very well. It's just the offense couldn't get it done. Um, Justin Wilson came in, pitched the inning in the third. He did give up 2 hits, did walk a guy. He struck out 2, but 2 runs did come in, and that was in the top of the seventh inning. Zach Kelly came in after him in the eighth, pitched the inning, did walk 2 guys. And then Chris Murphy in the ninth pitched the inning and gave up a hit. So there's your Red Sox pitchers for the most part. Um, Overall, again, pitching wise for Giolito, not that bad, but no offense for you. And then for the Yankees batters, they had 9 hits on the night. They only struck out 8 times, but when you have more hits than strikeouts, most of the time you're going to win the game, in which they did. Aaron Judge, he went 1 for 3 on the night. Obviously, he had the home run. He did walk twice. Ben Rice with 2 hits and an RBI on the night. Cody Bellinger with a hit and an RBI. And then Giancarlo Stanton and Caballero each added hits. Jazz Chisholm, Amari's favorite player. Shout out to Jazz Chisholm. He had a couple
hmm
knocks on the night. Hell yeah. And then Ryan McMahon had a hit and RBI as well. Um, when it comes to pitching for the Yankees, again, the Sox almost got no hit. No bullshit. I almost said Lucas Giolito. Luis Hill, excuse me. He went 6 strong. Didn't give up any hits. He did walk 4 though, but he did strike out 4. So that was his line on the night. He pitched well. Besides the 4 walks, hey, he allowed no hits and only 4 runners on base. So hey, can't complain with that for him.
Right.
Cruz came in after him in the seventh, pitched the inning, gave up a hit and a walk. Obviously, that hit was the home run by Nate Eaton, but he did strike out three. Devin Williams came in the eighth, pitched the inning, gave up a hit, but he did also strike out one. And the David Bednar for the save with an inning and two strikeouts. So that's your stat line for both teams. Amari, overall for Lucas Giolito, how do you think he fared tonight? Obviously, with no offense for him.
I mean, he was fine,
Mm-hmm.
but like, there's just that inning where he gave up that run. Like, yeah, it wasn't really his fault, but at the same time, like, he didn't really put himself in a good situation either at the end of the game.
Right,
Um, Obviously, he played great despite obviously that one at bat from Judge, but and obviously the few at bats that were at the end of the game. But I don't really think that's like the glaring problem. Like, I think Rafaela really needs to step up again. Like, I think it's just a frustrating the fact that like he's been pretty bad the past like month and a week,
right,
and like it's not something you want to see going into the playoffs. And like it's baseball is not one of those sports where you can just turn it up. Like, honestly, like I don't think like if he continues to like I don't think that like he's gonna play well in the playoffs if he continues to play the way he's playing. I'm not just saying that because obviously I have him on fantasy. Like, I've obviously kept up with his stats, and like it's just the way that he's playing, and the way that he's like kind of also arguing with umpires. Like, it's
mm-hmm.
probably just a mental thing right now, and I think he needs to lock back in. Like, he just looks a little lethargic. His body language sometimes is just very bad, and which like you don't see a lot of that during obviously previously before he got into the slump. Like, it wasn't really an issue, and honestly like the umpire thing has been relatively fresh the past 2 weeks, and
Right,
like a player who like doesn't really like obviously yeah he speaks English, but a player that like obviously it's not his first language, and him being a player like sometimes it can be hard for him to express his feelings to umpires in a certain way, and I
right,
feel like he's gotten frustrated because of his play. And then in turn, like, yes, I'm not gonna lie, there have been at bats. If people want to go back and watch, if there is a way for people to go back and watch, kind of like NFL has like an all 22 film, like there have been times where like Rafaela definitely has been like the subject of bad calls, and like the umpires the past like month, maybe a month and some change, kind of haven't really been good across the league. So I
mm-hmm.
kind of understand the frustration at the plate when it comes to that, but it's not all the umpire's fault. I think he needs to really focus, and especially with Roman Anthony being out, we could have used his offense and his production, especially at a time like this where Roman Anthony has been out. And at a time where when Roman Anthony was in the lineup, like he was the spark plug of the lineup, and Rafaela needs to be able to do that. And I feel like clearly because the on base percentage has dipped a little bit since
Mm-hmm.
Roman Anthony has been injured, which is very obviously clear and obvious that was going to happen. I just think that the issue isn't the pitching currently. And like the bullpen actually did a pretty decent job today. And like there is room for improvement, but I don't think today the problem was pitching. I think today was very clearly the glaring lack of offense and the glaring lack of providing base runners. So I think that
Absolutely,
that's the issue, and especially against the pretty struggling team defensively like the Yankees, like you just can't have games where you score one run against a team that's pretty defensively susceptible. So
absolutely. Yeah, no, I completely agree 100%. I mean, especially with a guy like Rafaela, how hot he was going into the All Star break. Honestly, if there wasn't if the Red Sox didn't have the All Star break, I think Rafaela would still be hitting well.
mhm,
I really think that once they came back from that, even in July, he still was doing well, but you could kind of see that the bat was falling off just a tad bit.
right,
Then you got into August, and the bat really wasn't there. There was times he was getting some timely hits for the most part,
yeah,
especially hitting a game winning home run against the Orioles some weeks back. But for the most part, yeah, no, it seemed like his bat's really non-existent right now, and it's sad because you look at his stats now. Going into the All-Star break, his OPS was almost at 800. I think it was either in the 780s, 790s. It was right there. And now his OPS is in the 600s. So one bad month, kind of similar to the Trevor Story bad month in May, one bad month can really fuck you up. It can really fuck you up. And just looking at him right now, especially at the plate, he really just does not look confident. He really doesn't. It's like, and especially he's hitting in the 9 hole. So obviously 1 through 8 has to step up. But when you're Wthhs and the season that he has had before this last month and a week, you looked at him and it's like, okay, a guy at the bottom of the lineup, when if guys up top can't get it going at first, at least he can be that spark plug to provide something, at least to get him on base, steal some bags or whatever. But he just looks lost out there. And like you said, also with him arguing with umps now more than what he did in the first 4 months of the year. It's actually, well, I should say the first 3.5 months, I should say, because it's been a month and a week. But now you're really seeing that. It's like you're seeing anger come out of him. And you could just tell, like, once that really started to come out of him, it's like, oh, yeah, this guy's really having a tough time because you've never seen that from him. He's always been a guy that's been respectful to umps, a guy that doesn't show as much negative emotion. He shows a lot of positive emotion. But it's really gotten to the point where it's like, yeah, this guy, he just seems lost out there. He does. Do you think he can? Is there a way for him to pick it back up at least before the end of the year and hopefully getting into playoff time?
I mean, I don't know. He hasn't played well at all against the Yankees at all this year, really. Anyways, I mean, he's at 37 at bats. He's only got 6 hits, and he's batting about 162 average the whole year and 244 on base against New York. Like, he just hasn't been good against New York at all. And in the last 30 days, he's a batting 165 with 22 strikeouts. Like, there's something's just mentally just not there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just clear that, like, when he plays the Yankees, maybe the lights are too bright. I don't know. Like,
Right.
but it just seems to me that, like, the Yankees are a team he struggles against. And the last 30 days, he just has been struggling mightily at the plate. And clearly defensively, like, defense is never the issue. We
Right.
never have a problem with him defensively. He doesn't make errors. He doesn't make horrible throws. He doesn't make costly throws. Like, he hits the cutoff man, or his throws are normally on point, on base to said player or whatever situation it is when it comes to the base runners.
Right.
But I think that, like, at the plate, it's just he's so good defensively. But then when you kind of put him in position too, where I mean, you moved him around from second base to outfield too at certain times. Like, he's moved around in the lineup a little bit at times too.
Right. Right. Right.
So I just think that, like, especially with Roman Anthony being out, like lately, like the last 30 days haven't been good, and then even so far, just by itself right now, in the last, I guess you could say, 15 days, he hasn't played necessarily the best either,
Mm-hmm.
and it's sad because the last 15 days. I mean, you really could say the last 7 because today's the 12th, so really the last 7.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, he's batted 56, dude. Like, that's not good, and
Uh,
his on base percentage is 105, and he is steadily declined from the month of June. So these are alarming splits, I guess you could say, at this point in the year.
right.
This is definitely a worry that I think Red Sox fans should definitely monitor this, and his slugging percentage has gone significantly down from the month of June to September.
Right.
His OPS is just, yeah, it's really bad. I mean, it went from 870 to 368 in a matter of a couple months. So there has to be some sort of talk about where his head's at. I don't know if it's like he's got something going on in his personal life that
Mhm.
has nothing to do with the diamond, or maybe he might be feeling the pressure of Anthony being out, and he might be being asked to do a lot, and
Right.
it might be getting to him. I don't know, but maybe that's a conversation he has to have with Alex Cora, and we're obviously not going to know. But when you
Mm-hmm.
look at those types of numbers and you look at the steady decline of those numbers in such a short period of time, including those splits and the numbers themselves between those splits, it's just very, very eye opening that the numbers have declined rapidly the way they have between each split.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's 100%. I tell you, yeah, like it's really it is alarming. It is alarming, and I honestly think because I know he had a day off in the final game of the A series. He didn't come in and score the game tying run in the eighth inning. No, in the top of the ninth inning. But
Right.
for the most part, maybe maybe not this series. They might keep him in, but you might have to look at maybe possibly giving him another day off or a couple days off in that A series coming up starting Monday because I tell you, yeah, like it's especially with his bat, like you said, the defense has always been there. I mean, this is a kid who just robbed a home run in the Diamondback series last week, so it's like the defense it has always been consistent. That's never been the issue, but it really does seem like something must be going on with him mentally, and like you said, even outside of the diamond, because it went from the highest to now it just went right about here within especially within a matter of a month and some change. It's like night and day. It's almost we're kind of seeing like last year's Cedar Rafaela for the most part at the plate, and you look at it now. If the casuals will look at it now and be like, "Oh yeah, no, he's not a great hitter." No, for the most part, the majority of this year, he was killing. It's
Yeah.
just now it really looks like, especially how it was with Trevor Story back in May, it looks like, yeah, like this guy, from the casuals, like, oh yeah, his bat sucks. It really don't. It's just something's going on with this kid, and they
Yeah.
gotta figure something out. And like you said, even as well, Amari, I think Alex Cora really has to have a talk. I think they really have to have a sit down if they haven't already. But they got to figure it out with him, help him out with something. Because yeah,
You
it,
can't even sit him right now, though. That's the thing.
exactly. You can't because there's nobody
So,
else
like,
behind.
even though you suggested sitting him in the A's game, like, we literally can't afford to do that.
Right.
Like, especially after this game, like, Bayo's pitching tomorrow, and, like, he is a Yankee killer, which is cool. But, like, if the offense obviously can't provide runs, like, Bro's not going to go. I mean, he went what? It was that one game this year where he went 9 innings, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I think wasn't that against the Yankees? I
No, that
could be
was,
I
I
could
believe,
be
against
wrong, but I know it was a home game. Actually, you're right. It wasn't against the Yankees.
it
But I
was against
remember that
it was against
game.
Rockies. Yeah.
It was against the Padres.
Rockies.
Oh, Rockies. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, and like granted, it was against the Rockies, but like we've seen the Rockies at times this year hit the cover off the ball even though they suck. Their
Right.
pitching is absolutely fucking terrible, but that team can score runs.
Right.
And like I think that Bayo, like, yeah, he can do whatever and be a Yankee killer tomorrow, but like Rafaela really needs to fucking find his rhythm like tomorrow, like
Right.
literally tomorrow,
Right.
because the way the Mariners are now in a division battle, they're not even in a wild card battle anymore. They're literally battling the Astros back and fucking forth. So they're not even concerned about wild card and this, that, and so forth. You have the Rangers who are slightly creeping up, like they're slightly still keeping themselves enough in contention to where they can, if one of us starts losing a couple games, whether it's us or the Yankees,
Mhm.
or who's the third? The Guardians, right?
Guardians. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, and if the Guardians fall off the face of the earth somehow and fall off a cliff, like the Rangers very well could sneak their way in there, especially if we lose to the Yankees. And let's say, God forbid, in the worst world possible, we lose, get swept the series.
Mhm.
Like we're gonna need Rafaela every single game of the next series. So he
Right.
can't even afford to sit whether we win or lose.
Right.
So looking at that situation on the outside in, especially looking at the schedules too as well, like it's just not a good situation that we're in, especially right now. And Rafaela, this is the worst time for him to have a slump.
Absolutely.
Seriously. And when a guy like Nate Eaton, I mean, no offense to Nate Eaton, he hit a home run tonight, but if that is your best at bat that late in the game at night, excuse me, that late in the game, this late in in the season, it's not a very good sign. It's concerning.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. It is concerning, and you want to see guys with Rafaela. You want to see him pick it up, but I tell you, like especially on a night like tonight, you would have liked to see Alex Bregman do a whole lot more. Alex
That
Bregman
too.
do that too, because I tell you, it's you know as much as Rafaela's slump is alarming, Alex Bregman, ever since that Orioles series a couple weeks ago, he really he just hasn't been able to find the hits. Like, and he's made some contact. Don't get me wrong, and obviously him making contact, they've gotten him out, whether it's liners or whatnot. He hasn't completely fallen off a cliff, But especially with Roman Anthony out now, you would try to look more to him to at least be the anchor, and he has it. And it seems like him too that he hasn't been able to find it the last couple weeks. Is that like if in his case is that alarming, or is it one of those things like he's just going through a couple weeks slump and hopefully he could kind of turn back the clock how it was a few weeks back because they need Alex Bregman more than ever now, and he hasn't been there.
I mean, I think the lineup is just feeling the pressure. Like it's
Mm,
just like I just said. Like like there's teams trying to still creep into the race and still make themselves viable for a wild card spot. It's just like they're feeling the pressure and like yeah, Bregman hasn't been as bad as Rafaela, but I'm not necessarily worried about him. I think my worry would be the players who can genuinely just be streaky like last year, like Rafaela.
mhm.
And I think it's a lot that needs to be taken into account as well too is that Rafaela's played a lot of baseball this year too, and he's played a lot of baseball at different positions.
Right,
So he could also just very well be fatigued. It's a very real thing. He's a
right,
pro athlete. They got to play every day. They got to practice every day. He very well could just be fatigued. Like I don't know if that's a result of the workload or the pressure of like winning certain series and games. And you see certain teams in certain sports, they get on these streaks in early on or well midway through the season sometimes. And baseball's a long fucking season.
right,
It's kind of like a basketball and hockey. It's a long fucking season, and if your best stride is in the middle, sometimes you can tail out at the end. And I think we're starting to see it maybe a tail off effect just because Anthony's not in the lineup. We're gonna see hope I mean, and he's probably not even coming back anytime soon.
right,
So then we have to hope we can win a playoff series without him, which I'm nowhere near confident we can do that the way we've played without him so far.
right,
And the pressure is really getting to this lineup. And it's oddly enough where we're talking about at least tonight the bullpen played better, probably other than Giolito, played the best.
right.
I defensively, I mean David Hamilton, dude. He needs to wake up. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but he needs to wake up today. I mean the bobbled ball, bobbling it two times and letting I'm pretty sure it was Jazz get on base. Like
Mm,
I just and then he's batting 202 right now, so
mhm.
he's not even like a reliable bat enough where it's like okay, I can trust this guy going into a playoff series to step up for a guy like Roman Anthony who has been a constant spark plug in this offense at times where it's gone lethargic.
Right.
So there's just a couple question marks I guess in the lineup, and like Narvaez is not doing himself any favors too either.
Yeah.
Romy Gonzalez has played very well, yeah, after playing like shit while everyone else is playing well. But it's weird. Like
Yeah.
the consistency of these streaks is weird, and it like Romy Gonzalez has been a little streaky, but he didn't really play well tonight. But
Absolutely. Yeah.
um, he's played well, I guess, really the past week, and yeah, it's just sad to see that that is the case so far.
No, absolutely. You're 100% right. I tell you, yeah, it's especially to almost get to get your first hit in the seventh inning with a lineup like this. It was such a tough watch, but also like you said, like yeah, it seems as though that Roman Anthony injury has really hurt this team. It really has because that was the tone setter. That was the tone setter, and really, I say that he is the tone setter. Ever since he's been up, he's been the tone setter for this team, especially getting on base and you know getting good at bats and walking singles.
And
I'm
he's an underrated base runner too. I don't think that that part of his game is like talked enough where it is like with Rafaela, Duran, and Hamilton. Like,
Mhm.
I think he's a very underrated base runner. Same thing with Trevor Story. I think no one's really talking about the 29 for 29 or what is it, 30 for 30 now.
I think it's still 29 for 29. I believe. I'll check on that right now. Let me see.
The
Uh,
amazing base running IQ. I
it
don't think
is
enough people are talking about that for Trevor Story's game.
right.
Same thing with Anthony.
Exactly. I tell you, yeah, like the being able for these guys to get on base, they really make shit happen. And with them not being able to get on base tonight, it just obviously it hurt them. It's like, especially for a guy like Story right now,
Hmm.
is obviously with Rafael struggling. once Trevor Story is able to get on base, if he would have got on base tonight, I think it would have at least try to set a little more of a tone for everybody else.
Right.
But that's your guy right there, especially with him. And it's actually he's 28 for 28, so he needs two more to get to 30. But
Okay.
and really, but that's remarkable that who would have thought Trevor Story would be in a position to go 28 for 28 so far this year in stolen bases?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like nobody thought that was going to happen, and quite frankly, nobody thought the year that he would have right now, especially with him being extremely healthy, would really
Hmm.
play in the favor. If if guys like that get into fruition and get on base, good things happen. When those
Right.
guys like him, Alex Bregman, even Jaron Duran, in this case, when they don't get on base, ain't shit happening.
Right.
It's and we saw it tonight. Only two hits on the night. It was really a tough watch. It was really a tough watch, Chad. I tell you, but obviously it's only one game, but you're getting down to crunch time. That's why every game now is very important. Yeah, you've already won the season series against the Yankees. Whoop de doo. Shout out to Doug. But you got to get these wins. You got to get these wins. And it's only going to help you in the long run because right now you're sitting at 81 wins. The Yankees are ahead of you in the wild card by I believe now it is a game and a half because you guys were already a half game back.
Right.
It's like now in order if you would have been able to win the night and possibly win all three games, you're right there with them at the top of the wild card. But now you're a game and a half back, so you got to hope and pray you win tomorrow just to be a half game back. Now you got to hope and pray to win on Sunday to be in the forefront. Like every game matters, and especially now as you're going against them. You have the Rays coming up. You have the Blue Jays coming up. You have the three out of your next five series, including this one, is against AL East teams. So you got to be able to take advantage of your division foes to really put yourself in a position to at least get into the playoffs. Because right now, yes, you're in it. If the season ends today, you'll be in it, but you're still fighting for your lives. You're still fighting for your lives, honestly. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So, it's only one game. They got another one.
Yeah. I
Later.
mean,
Oh, go
another
ahead.
thing too is like Bregman has played typically well against the Yankees all year. I mean, he's 16 at bats, 438 average, 500 on base percentage, 500 on base percentage, 500 slugging percentage, and 1,000 OPS. So it's like it's just one bad game to me for him that he had tonight against the Yankees. He's played obviously like I just read you guys the numbers. That's like his totals this year by split for the Yankees this year. So
Right, right.
yeah for this year. So yeah, I mean I'm not really like in. I mean, he has played the last 15 days. His batting average has been under 200. So there has been pretty well enough. Like concerned, you said in the last 2 weeks, enough for me to kind of say he needs to get back in the swing of things. But this is a series where he could very well get back into the swing of things tomorrow or the next game. And
Right.
if not, then we have a series where he can also get into the swing of things against some very questionable pitching. So
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no, it's nothing. It's not in his case. It's nothing to be overly concerned, but it's something to monitor, especially.
Yeah, like I wouldn't say overly because I wouldn't even say monitor. Like I would just say like I think that they're really just like I said before. I think they're really just feeling the pressure, and
Mhm.
I think Alex Cora who knows how to channel that and keep them focused. I think yes, at times you have seen the pressure has gotten to them, like including that Guardians game, one of
Yeah.
those Guardians games where it was like 8-1.
Yes.
Yeah, like that was very clear. The mental that day was nowhere to be found on in any phase of the game, offensively, defensively, or pitching. So yeah, I mean, it's just a guy like Bregman definitely wouldn't worry too much, but Rafaela Young, Devers, a guy who is also his friend, he probably might be pretty emotional. That might be a tendency maybe he developed. And I'm
Right.
not saying he's not a team player because like he has said and like he has done all year, He's like, I want to do anything I can to help this team win. I'm going to play any position I need to. I'm going to do whatever I need to do. It's not a question of that, but a player who does potentially have a hard time articulating his feelings correctly in English enough to a point where you know what I mean.
Mhm.
I think that he 100% might be feeling frustrated right now, and especially with the umpires who are harsh in this given sport. They're not really like NFL refs. um,
Absolutely.
they're very harsh. So I think with Rafaela, it's more of a mental mindset thing, whereas Bregman, I think he just had one bad game. He's played exceptionally well against the Yankees all year. So
Right. Absolutely. And that's even with missing time. That's with missing time early in the year. So with him coming back when he did, I believe it was I think the first Yankees series that he came back for, I believe it was early July. I want to say I might be wrong on that, but ever since then, and even in the past with him on the Astros, he's always played the Yankees well. You know what I'm saying? So at least that trend right there has continued. And for the most part, yeah, in his case against the Yankees, only one. It's only one game, but he has two more games to really leave an impact.
right,
So you know what I'm saying. So again, chat. It's only one game, nothing to really worry about. You're not going to win every game, but especially for them to only have two hits on the night, it was tough.
yeah, absolutely.
It is what it is on that. But now we move forward, and since we're in a new day, it's now currently Saturday. They got another game to get at it, and that will be later today at let's see, at 4:10. It'll be Max Fried for the going for the Yanks. He's 16-5 on the year with a 3.02 ERA, 163
Excuse
strikeouts
me.
to his name. Bless you, bless you. Um, and it'll be Brayan Bello going as well for the Sox. He's 11-6 with a 3.12 ERA with 114 strikeouts. Um, and Brayan Bello's first two games against them this year, he's gone 7 innings both times. He did not. He paid two shutouts as well, and during his time in the first game he pitched against him, he had 8 strikeouts. Second game he pitched against him, he had 5. So he's been fairly dominant against them this year. And overall, in Brayan Bello's career against the Yankees, he's pitched them very well. So you hope to see a good outing by him later on. But you still got to deal with Max Fried for the Yankees. And Max Fried, yeah, he was in a little bit of a rut about a month and some change ago. It
Right.
looks like he's back to it now. That 3.02 ERA is up there, but for the most part this year, he was in the ones and the mid ones, even at twos. He was really a Cy Young contender. He just fell off a little cliff, but he's back to it. So this should be, if all goes well, pitching wise, this should be a pitcher's duel later on this afternoon.
Absolutely.
The bats do got to get it going, but it's going to be tough against a guy like Fried. Hopefully, they'll be able to play some small ball and even get a play into favor of him. Hopefully, walking some guys. But yeah, Chad. This series overall is going to be no slouch.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens later today. Um, Also, chat. Quick update on the standings. Quick update on the standings. Let me just refresh this real quick. The Blue Jays still sit atop the AL and the AL as a whole, but obviously in the AL East at 85-62. The Tigers took the L today. They're now 84-64. Yankees with the dub. They're now 80. Astros with the dub, and in their game they're now 80-68.
Yeah, they're
The
back in the lead. Yeah.
they're back in the lead. Absolutely. As you can see, like we talked about already, the Yankees still to the top of the wild card. They're 82-65, so they will have a winning record this year. As we all know, it's been like that for 33 consecutive years. But now they are 3 games ahead of the wild card.
Hmm.
Like we already mentioned, the Sox are a game and a half behind them. They're 81-67. And the Mariners still sit at the final wild card spot at 79-68. But you do have teams like the Texas Rangers at 78-70 and the Cleveland Guardians at 76-71 creeping up. So that a wild card as a whole, but that third wild card spot is still somewhat up for grabs. It's not safe
Hmm.
yet. But yeah, Chad. No, I'm telling you, there's a lot of baseball still left to be played. It's getting down to the wire. So anything could happen. In the Sox case, they just have to keep winning. They just got to keep keeping pace. But they're on the right path. They just got to get it done on the field and with the bats. So yeah, chap. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, man. Any other final words, Amari? For chat before we head out. Any news? Anything else you thinking about the Sox or anything to kind of look forward to?
No, I mean just the Astros and Mariners is something to monitor, and Rafaela tomorrow is obviously definitely someone to just completely watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that Astros Mariners situation, Sox fans 100% keep a fucking eye on that.
Yep.
That is 100% going to be a huge thing. Astros and Mariners are a little bit streaky. They've both been a little bit streaky.
Mm-hmm.
Same as us. So whoever finds their stride first in this situation might be the ones to kind of separate themselves up with the Yankees, especially if the Yankees do win this series and separate themselves ahead of us a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Could find ourselves sliding down a spot. So I'm hoping and praying that that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping and praying that, Bregman just had a bad game today and that Rafaela wakes up tomorrow and Romy Gonzalez as well, because those three are probably the three we're relying on the most right now. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, that's a fact, Chad. Hey, tomorrow for the Sox, it's a get right game. Hopefully, everybody can get on the same page, and let's hope that Cedar Rafaela he can come up big because we still have belief in this kid. This kid
yep,
overall, take away this last month and a week, he's been having a great year. Obviously, he's been in a rut, but he's come up clutch for us in a lot of games this year. So if he can get start getting going tomorrow, or even just as a whole for the next two games to kind of lead into the next series against the Athletics, it'll be great. And hopefully Alex Bregman shows back up tomorrow. Trevor Story as well, Nathaniel
yep,
Lowe, Jaron Duran, you name it. Sox overall, they got to show up tomorrow. You know they,
absolutely.
or actually today, I should say later on today. But yeah, Chad. Overall, that's about it for us. We will back since it's Saturday now. We will be back later on to talk Sox, but also, hey, it's college football season. It's NFL season. We'll have a lot to talk about later on in for both, especially college football. There's some great matchups later on today, so we'll have it here for you. Bay State Media as well. My guy Mari Scott, he'll have it for you as well. So it'll be either one of us going live, but regardless, you'll hear from us later on today. So, hell yeah, Chad.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, Chad. But with that being said, Chad, this has been another edition of What the Hell's Happening in Sports. I'm your boy Nero. Thank you for my guy Amari Scott for doing this with me like he has done recently. He's always here for a nigga, real nigga right here. It's my dog.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, chat. We will see you later on today. I hope y'all sleep well because it's going to be a big day for college football tomorrow and baseball too. But
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
we will see you very, very soon.
Yep.
Peace, chat.
Peace.
Yes, sir.